Today's video is going to be about homesickness. This is something that will, if you move to Japan, or indeed if you move to any foreign country or even across the country, so you move to like another city or a new state, this is something that's going to happen to you at some point in your life. I'll be talking about my own example, my own experiences with homesickness, as well as giving some examples without using names or such of other instructors and what has happened to them, what they've gone through, right? Most of it is going to be talking about myself though. This is something of a personal rant video today. Okay, so before we start, so if you're unaware, the Japanese economy is not very good right now. There are a number of reasons for this, and I don't want to get too political in this video, so I'm just going to lay them out in kind of like broad strokes. The first problem is America, is the US. There's a certain presidential person who is causing a lot of trouble across the planet, wrecking economies left, right and center, and it's having a profound impact upon the Japanese economy. The second thing is China. China is looking at expanding militarily, at conquering new territory and invading Taiwan, and Japan has an obligation to protect Taiwan, and so there's a whole kind of issue about military spending in Japan at the minute. The third thing is what's happening in Iran, or the Strait of Hormuz, which has, my understanding as of the Friday that this video goes out. I don't know when I will be editing this video, but yeah, it should be around this time that the video goes out. Should be signing a peace treaty to kind of stop that whole thing, so hopefully the situation might get better there, but as of this video and as of this video's topic, it was a bad situation. And the fourth thing is about YouTube. Actually, is about people coming to Japan, having watched people on YouTube performing certain acts that have created a kind of helped to create a anti-foreigner sentiment among Japanese people. That's a very broad strokes thing of it. If you want me to, I can go into greater depth on these topics in other videos, but that's just very broad strokes for today, right? So let's talk now about my own, actually let's talk about the other instructors' experiences first. So first of all, I have seen instructors come into Japan and after like 1 or 2 days feel homesickness, have felt like they have to return to their home country. Japan, it shouldn't need to be said, but I think it needs to be said, is a very different culture from UK, US, Europe, Australia, whichever kind of westernized country or western country you want to think of. Japan is very different culturally. If you move here, don't be expected to kind of live as you live back home, you know. This surprises a lot of people. This surprises more people than it should, and I have seen instructors cry when they've come into the country. I've seen them break down because they're not able to kind of do simple things like order food or just paying the simple bills, trying to get a mobile phone, or a smartphone I should say. All of these things are very difficult for people, and people should be aware of this when they arrive, right? So the instructor I saw cry was actually a giant lad. He's like you wouldn't expect it. Like he kind of came in like when I was like, whoa, but then like he just like bawling like a child because like, he just couldn't do the simple things, and he left after like 1 month. I think he was here for like he worked for 2 weeks, took 2 weeks off, and then left. I shouldn't laugh because it is a serious thing. You have to consider it is a different culture, right? So that in mind, some people come here 2 weeks, 2 days, a month, a year later, feel homesickness. My own personal experience is, and just to give you a bit of a background for this, okay? I have been living in Japan since 2019. I moved here in August 2019. after moving in August 2019, I went back for Christmas in December 2019 and returned to Japan on January 1st, 2020. Since January 1st, 2020, I have not left Japan, either to return to the UK or to go on holiday or to, I don't know, just do anything. I have not left. I have been continually, I have been continuously in Japan since January 1st, 2020, right? I haven't felt homesickness in all that time until, and I was here for coronavirus, I didn't feel homesickness in all that time until February 2026. What caused this homesickness? Well, because of like all these factors that I mentioned previously in the video, teaching in Japan has become a lot more difficult, and the number of students has decreased dramatically. For me, I've been somewhat insulated from this because reason we'll go to in a second, but in general, the numbers are down across the board. So let's give some concrete examples of this, okay? So before the tariffs were introduced by this presidential person, before Japanese companies had trouble dealing with America, I was getting 8 or 9 lessons every day. So 5 days a week, 8 or 9 lessons a day. Fantastic. You know, I had like more or less a full schedule. If I had like an open, it was like 1 or 2 a day at most. Since those tariffs were introduced, the number has gone down to about 6 or 7. So 8 or 9 down to 6 or 7, okay? Every day. I'm averaging at the minute 6.5 per day. So that doesn't sound too bad on paper, you know, going from 8 to 6 doesn't sound too bad, but then you have to think about it in terms of percentages. That is a 25% drop in income, you know, and it happened like 1 month fine, and then the next month, boom. And in honesty, in the actual fact of it, it didn't go down to 6 to 9. It was kind of like a, and then like it kind of recovered a bit. It actually went down to like 4 or 5 for a bit. But I said I was a bit insulated, and the reason for this is because, if you can't tell by my voice, I'm from the UK. I'm British, and a lot of the kind of the students who are left don't want, I should say, American instructors, because a lot of people, right, they want to learn English for either 2 main reasons, right? For 3 main reasons. One is that their company demands that they learn English because their company trades a lot with English-speaking countries, typically speaking the US. They want to learn American English because it's like kind of the standard English, but not anymore. So 2 is that they learn it because they want to go traveling, and they want to go traveling, but right now the Japanese yen is very, very weak, so traveling is very, very difficult, so learning English is like on the back burner, as it were, right? And number 3 is this is usually elderly people who want to kind of like maintain either a level of English that they had in the past, they want to maintain that level, or that want to learn English because they want to kind of prevent, you know, dementia. They want to kind of keep their brain active as they get older. Those numbers have not declined a lot, but the first 2 groups have declined significantly. Like I say though, I'm a bit insulated to it because, and this is where I think like the rebound came, is because of my being British. I've noticed this with other instructors that like other nationalities, so like Australian, Canadian, from New Zealand, from South Africa, from all other countries, the numbers have gone down, the numbers have decreased, but it's principally with American instructors that the number has been most impacted. Their numbers have like gone through the floor. They have cratered, going from like, they had similar numbers to me, like 8 or 9 lessons a day, and they've gone down to like 3, even 2 in some cases. I've seen instructors come in and like they have like one lesson like at the start of the day and one lesson at the end of the day and nothing in between, which is an atrocious and appalling waste of time, and also, you know, not really helpful monetarily and financially. So just be aware that if you're thinking of coming to Japan, that like if you're American at the minute, there's a lot of kind of like anti-American sentiment. I'm sorry. But my own personal example of homesickness though, this rebound, like I say, like it kind of recovered after like a couple of months. During that couple of months, however, it started in October, like this decrease, like you can kind of like follow it. It started in October, pay went down, and was like that way for like a month or two. Then in December, across like the company, there's a enforced break that we have, and we can't really work during this time. It's not possible. So pay is always low in that month, in December. So December payment, November payment was low, December payment was low, and then the amount of lessons started going up again in December, but we had like the 2 weeks off, so it was low in January as well. So 3 months of payments that were maybe like half of what they used to be. At the same time, the cost of living is increasing. You know, the price. Just an example, the price of rice has more than doubled in the last year. From 2024 to 2025, the price of rice went from 2,000 yen for like a 5 kilo bag of rice up to 5,000 for some brands. Okay, and 4,000 to 5,000, so about 100% increase or more. It is since decreased dramatically also because this partially was because of the tariffs, but it was also a lot due to a bad harvest the previous year. It was just bad timing, I guess. So anyway, price of living increase. Japan Railway also increased the prices. It was really horrible. Things increasing, salary going down, not a good situation. So December happens, and then I get paid in January. And when I get paid in January, I had enough money to pay rent. I had enough money for 2 weeks travel, and that was it. I had no more. Like, what little savings I had been eaten up by the past 3 months of like no lessons, or reduced lessons. I had no money. I'm not exaggerating here, right? When I say like, oh, I only had like $50 or whatever. No. I had no money. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I could not afford to get to work. I literally could not pay to get to work, which, you know, had an impact because when you don't go to work, you don't get paid. I work on commission. I work on like, if a student books my lesson, I get paid. So if I'm not opening up any lessons, I don't get paid. Simple. So, but I couldn't travel to work. You know, I couldn't get the train to work. I literally could not afford it. I couldn't eat, right? From mid-January to mid-February. So from about January 10 to about February 10, I had every day a bowl of rice. And that was it. You know, nothing else. Like, it wasn't even a big bowl of rice. It was just like about maybe 200 grams maybe of rice. No sauces, no condiments, no flavorings, just a bowl of rice for a month solid. And then February 10th, I had no food. And again, I'm not like using hyperbole. I'm not saying like I had no food. All I had was like these sandwiches and such. No. I had no food. I had nothing. I had water, and that was it for about 10 days. I couldn't go to work. I had to stay home and just basically drink water for 10 days solid. You know, it was tough. It was difficult. I've never done that before in my life. Like I eat a lot, right? I love eating, and that month like was horrible. Like January and February, those 2 months were horrible. And when I got paid in February, the pay was again kind of low. And it's had like this kind of knock-on effect. So like in March, because I took like a lot of time off in February, the pay was also low in March. And it's only really like this month that I've been able, actually this month is my birthday month, but it's only been this month that I've been able to kind of like go to work full time again, because I've had to kind of like build up and build up. I've had to reduce my schedule and build up and build up because I can't afford to. Right now, today, this week, again, I'm eating rice all week until payday. You know, it's not going to be good until August. Going back to like the homesickness, right? February 2026 was the first time that I actually truly considered returning to the UK. It was the first time that I felt truly homesick. And the thing that caused it really was because I wasn't eating, because all I was eating was rice for like a month, and then I had like no food at all. I was just, in my mind, I was going through all the British food that I missed, you know. And I know you're gonna make like some kind of joke. You're gonna think like, oh, British food, who cares about British food? It's like rice is probably tastier or whatever. Nah, mate, British food is fantastic, and I will hear none of your slander. You know what's the most popular dish in the UK? The most popular food in the UK? Fish and chips? Nah. Bangers and mash? Nah. Chicken tikka masala. The most flavorful thing you can imagine. It's the most popular food in the UK. The UK invaded half the known world to get spices and sugars. You think we eat bland food? No, sir, no. Our food is fantastic. I'm sorry, it is. Yeah, is it as good as French or Italian food? No, because Italian food is like the greatest food in the world. Is it better than American food? Yes. Is it better than Chinese food? Well, but it's still pretty good. And I was going through all the British foods that I miss, you know. And after just giving such an impassioned defense of British food, I'm not going to talk about my favorite British food, which is when I was living in the UK, I would always go to the Asda. Not Asda, which is like a supermarket in the UK. I would go to the Asda because I'm from the north, and we always put a definite article in front of it. So I would go to the Asda, I'll pick up some bread, and I get some Asda chicken and sweet corn mayo spread, some butter, some Kerrygold butter, shum shum shum, boom boom. It is the food of kings. Highly recommend it if you're in the UK. And then when I was eating just rice for that month in January, I so craved that sandwich. Not just that sandwich, but like UK kebabs, vindaloo, tikka masala, pot noodles, McCoy's crisps, iron brew. I was just, in my head was like everything I missed about the UK food scene. Friends and family, secondary concern. You know, I was in my mind, because I remember I was at home, I couldn't travel, I couldn't go to work, so I had nothing to kind of distract me. I was just walking through my apartment, just going, oh, I wish I could have this, oh, I wish I could have this, oh, I wish I could have this. Like every bit of UK food I could imagine. And I felt so bad at that time. You know, I felt unbelievably sick for home at that time. I was longing to return home and just go to a Greggs, go to a Sayers and get like a Cornish pasty or cheese and onion pasty or steak bake or something, and just, you know, just stuff my face. And that's the thing, they're not available in Japan. All of these foods that I've just mentioned in that list, none of them are available in Japan. There are some that come very, very close, and in fairness, you can get iron brew here, but it's only very, very recently that this has been possible, and it's all the way in Shibuya, and I live in Chiba, so it's like kind of going, and it's like very expensive, like 400-500 yen a can, and Shibuya is like 1,000 yen for me to get to. it is not economically feasible for me to go and get it. But I have to at some point, yeah. But all of those foods were going like through my head, and none of them are available in Japan. There are approximations, but none of them are close. You know, there are no really good pies in Japan. There are no pasties that are good in Japan. There are no kebabs that are good in Japan. Pot noodles do not exist here. You know, all this British food that no Sunday roast. You know, full English breakfast. You cannot get black pudding here in Japan. It just does not exist. You can't get it. Baked beans are very difficult to get. Well, now it's easier actually. In the last month or so, there's been baked beans you can order from Amazon, but they're expensive. It's like in the UK, you can get baked beans for like £4 for a pound or something. Here in Japan, it's like £5 for one tin. Well, maybe £5, maybe £4, but it's not a good situation, you know. And even so, it's like they don't have sausages. They don't have the correct bacon in Japan. It is impossible to find good bacon here. Healthier bacon, but not good bacon, you know. So all these foods are going through my head, and I was feeling terribly homesick for the first time in 6 years, in 7 years, my time living in Japan. I was homesick, and so that is something that you got to think about if you're considering moving to Japan. Is that at some point, whether it is 2 weeks, like 2 days, 2 weeks, 6 years, at some point you're going to experience homesickness, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it really. It's just something to think about, something to consider if you think about it coming. That's today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. See you. Bye bye. One last thing, actually, I got a microphone here. I don't know if it's working great, but please let me know in the comments if it's improved the sound quality. I hope it has. Like, I've noticed like some crackling when I've been using it, but I'm hoping that it's you know, made the audio quality better, because I know I use a GoPro and it's not the best quality sound. But again, thanks for watching. Bye.